Right, guys. So Alabama, like a lot of fans are panicking about Kalen DeBoer, and I kind of understand it in the sense that Caleb Downs is, by all accounts, I mean, I think he led the team in tackling as a freshman. Caleb Downs is a generational talent. Kadyn Proctor really came on during the second half of the season and is projected as a five-star tackle. He could be an NFL player one day. He really is the catalyst to your unit on the offensive line is Kadyn Proctor. So these two players right now are exploring options in the transfer portal. Julian Sayin, to me, I believe Julian Sayin also is exploring options in the transfer portal. When I reviewed Julian Sayin as a quarterback, I thought that he was accurate, thought that he had decent arm strength. Now, the guys at the Elite 11, they spent a lot more time around Julian, and he won the Elite 11 contest. But I even think Sayin can be a good college player. I think that he can be a good quarterback. But when you look at a guy like Austin Mack, that probably is going to follow Kalen DeBoer there, Austin Mack, to me, has one of the highest upsides of any quarterback in college football. That's, Austin Mack is 6'6" out of Folsom, California. Austin Mack plays like Justin Herbert did, and he's 6'6" with a huge arm, with a good throwing motion, checks every single box to be a generational talent as a quarterback, but he has to, of course, achieve that. Caleb Downs is already a bona fide star at college, and Caleb Downs has done his job already as a freshman. Austin Mack has never played a down yet, but neither has Julian Sayin. Then you look at a guy like DeMarcus Davis, all right? DeMarcus Davis is another player that was a quarterback that out of this year's class, 24, 6'3", mobile, big arm. Love his game. Rated as a 4-star, but rated as like a 90. To me, he's more like a 95. So if you get DeMarcus Davis, Austin Mack, and Jalen Milroe as your quarterbacks, you're going to be set. But they just hired a new coach for somebody in the back end, and that's Colin Hitschler. He was, again, he's from Philly, and he basically was a UPenn guy, went to training camp with the Eagles, was with the Eagles for a while, or was with the Eagles for 1 year, Kansas City, and then he spent his time from 2014 to 2014 to 2017, he was at South Alabama working with safeties and working on the defensive side of the ball. Colin then, from 2018 until 2023, worked under Luke Fickell, and that's when at Cincinnati, he was the co-defensive coordinator at Cincinnati when they went on their run, and he was the safeties coach when they went on their run, and they had guys like Kobe Bryant that was in that secondary, and of course we remember those teams that went undefeated in the American, and then played Alabama in the Cotton Bowl in the playoffs. All right, so Colin Hitschler is somebody that again just adds to this unit of just elite level coaches. This guy was the right-hand man under Luke Fickell, okay, and still growing as a coach. I mean, Freddie Roach has been the longtime defensive line coach of Alabama, who they retained. Mo Lindquist was a guy that was Buffalo's head coach. Okay, Linguist has been a lot of different spots. Kane Womack is somebody I believe who's from the state of Alabama, who was, South Alabama. Another sitting FBS head coach was Kane Womack, and really a successful head coach and somebody who learned under Tom Allen at Indiana is Kane Womack. So this defensive staff is fantastic. I mean, Mo Linguist, Kane Womack, Hitschler, these are going to be guys that eventually, if Alabama takes off, these are somebody like, you look at Kane Womack, who's a defensive coordinator. Mo Linguist can probably coordinate a defense, and Colin has experience coordinating a defense. On the offensive side of the ball, you get Jamarcus Shepard, who's probably the best wide receiver coach in the country, worked at Purdue, I want to say, before working at Washington. You get Grubb and Shepard and your offensive line coach, Scott Huff, and Nick Sheridan. You get all of the Washington guys on offense, including the offensive coordinator, Ryan Grubb. Robert Gillespie from Alabama stays on the staff. So it's looking like a great, great unit. I mean, where are the holes really in this staff? Again, these are all people that have been head coaches in college. Or you look at Colin Hitschler, he's going to be working as a safeties coach. And he worked as a safeties coach in the Big Ten, and he also worked as a secondary he also worked as a defensive play caller at Cincinnati under Luke Fickell. So you're adding in, the Fickell tree. You also get Kane Womack, of course, and Tom Allen's influence. Freddie Roach retains on the staff. Gillespie's on the staff. And then in terms of Washington's offensive staff is still going to be there. So I don't believe that this is time to panic. I believe that he has some of the most overqualified staff members on the defensive side of the football. So again, I really love what Kalen DeBoer is doing at Alabama with filling out this staff. I really, really do. So Colin is now going to be headed to Alabama. I think he's stacking it, man. I think that this is going to be a really, really solid coaching staff.